What's going on? I want to talk to you real quick. Maybe you right now that's watching this video, you find yourself in a moment in your life, in a place in your life where you feel frustrated, where you feel so much anger inside you, where you feel like you're in this dark place and there's no way out. Everywhere you try to go and look, and you can't find and can't figure out how to get out of this dark place. You feel like you're bonded there. Like there's no hope. You want to be set free. You want to be happy. You want to move on with your life and enjoy life. But the anger that you have holding you inside, that anger that built inside of you, or maybe that blame that you're blaming yourself for something that may have happened to somebody, it's eating you up inside. Whatever it is that you may be going through, I understand. You see, because I was once there. I was once in a place where I was in this dark place where I didn't care whether I lived or died. I was angry. I was angry at the world. I blamed everybody. You see, I grew up with so much anger towards my father. Blaming him. Blaming God. Because I felt like the church, because my father's a pastor, and I felt like the church took my father away from me. I had him at home, but it was like I didn't have him. And I remember going to places like Six Flags and seeing kids with their fathers. And it used to break my heart because I wish I was there. I would envy those kids. And as I got older, I became angrier and angrier. I started looking for the love of a father in other places, which at the time I didn't realize that. Started hanging around with older crowds, wrong crowds. And as time went on, I became more rebellious, I became more angry, and I started latching out and showing my anger in violent ways. By the time I was 17, going to 18, I ended up doing some state time. And I remember the day just like it was yesterday with my father, and my lawyer comes and tells me, I need you to sit down with you. We go to an empty courtroom. He tells me that my bail was revoked, that I would not be going home that day. And I remember that was the first time I ever saw the eyes of my father tear up. It was the first time that I ever actually felt his love towards me. And it broke something in me. And I remember I go and at the time I didn't realize it, but I realized later on that it was a blessing in disguise. You see, that time, me being away, it allowed for me and my father to start bonding, start talking. It allowed me to really start getting to know my dad in ways that I didn't know him. See, because before, all I saw him was as this preacher, not as a dad. And when I came out, I felt some type of bond with him. It felt good, actually. I felt like I was kind of able to talk to him more, able to have conversations with him. Even though I was always closer with my mother. You could say I'm a mama's boy, but most boys are. And to fast forward, because I don't want to take so much time, I remember this like it was yesterday, because this night was the night that truly impacted my life. And I remember I used to be a barber at the time. That was my profession. And I remember one day, it was a Friday, I go to my mother's house. I forgot what it was I went to go get. And I was in and out, and I leave. And as soon as I get around the corner, I get a call from my mother telling me, come back. And I could hear the desperation in her voice, telling me, come back, something happened to your dad. And I remember going around and hurrying up and rushing back home. And I remember rushing into the door, and I remember calling out for my mother because she was nowhere in sight. And I'm calling out, Mom, where you at? She's telling me, come upstairs, come upstairs. I'm upstairs in my room. I run upstairs. And I remember when I run upstairs, I look to the ground and I see my dad laying there. I see him just laying there. And I remember I go over him And as I look and see his face, his whole left side of his face starts to sag. It starts to drop. And I'm looking at him. And all I could say was, Bobby, what's wrong? Bobby, what's wrong? And I remember him looking at me with the only hand that was functioning at the time. And he goes like this. I'm leaving. In other words. And I remember him telling me that, and I'm looking at him in tears, telling him, Bobby, please, no. Bobby, you can't leave me now. You can't leave me now, Bobby. I need you, I need you, I need you. Bobby, no. And I remember the ambulance coming to take him. And I remember feeling so angry inside. Because the only person that I could blame for what just happened to him was myself. You see? Because I said to myself, maybe if I was a good boy, maybe if I would just follow his steps, maybe I've already got good grades in school and not stressed him so much, this wouldn't have happened to him. You see, my father had a stroke and a heart attack at the same time. And I remember getting to the hospital and the doctor saying they don't know what's going to happen with him because of what happened to him. He was in a coma for, I believe it was like a week or so, or over a week. We didn't know if he was going to wake out of it because one of the main veins in his brains had broken and they weren't able to get to it. So they were hoping that it would heal itself. And I remember blaming myself for this. And this blame, what happened was, it caused me to get more heavily into using drugs. Because it was the only way for me to not think about it. But it got so bad that it got to the point where I just was losing it all. My wife had it with me because I would take all the money we had, rent money, whatever money that was available, and I would use it in drugs. Everything went downhill. Everything was going downhill. And I remember this day, it was Saturday, we could say Sunday morning. It was about 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning. My wife said she had it with me. And I remember I go to the bathroom and I look at myself in the mirror. And I see myself looking like a straight skeleton. I was disgusted for what I was seeing in that reflection of the mirror. And I remember crying. I started crying and crying because I couldn't understand how I allowed myself to get this way. And I remember calling my mother, waking her up, telling her, Mom, I can't no more. I can't no more. I don't want to live. I don't want to live. I want to stop using, but for some reason I can't stop. Every time I try to stop, something drags me to it. I remember my mom telling me, just meet me at the church. Just meet me at the church. So I went. And as I'm in front of the church, I'm in front of the church in the car, and I'm debating whether or not I should go in there. I made a decision just to go. And I remember that as I stepped foot into the church, I started crying. And I cried and I cried. And that was a day that I just said, God, I can't no more. I leave it in your hands. I surrendered it all to you. And that was the day that my life was transformed forever. You see, that was the day that I took all my pain, all the blame, all the hate, all the anger, and let it out. I gave it to God for him to hold. Let him handle it. Because that's what he wants. And one thing I've realized was that in the other side of forgiveness was freedom. You see, you cannot be set free until you learn how to forgive them or forgive yourself. You only live once here on earth. You were destined to do great things. You were destined to accomplish great things. You have greatness within you. A great philosopher says that in a moment of decision is where your destiny is shaped. Today's the day to make a decision to forgive. So like that, you're able to be set free and fly and move forward into your purpose, into your calling. Why go through life in anger? Why go through life in blame when you was not destined to be and go through life that way? Make today a decision to be set free, to no longer hold on to that anger, no longer hold on to that blame. Because there's a purpose for your life. Share this video, because there's someone out there that needs to hear this. Make sure you come and follow me on social media on Facebook. I will leave the link below. Come follow me. If you enjoyed this video, I give out a lot of great content on there. And other great videos you'll be able to follow me on. This is your boy, Ariel Class. The legacy continues. Make sure you connect with me. Come say hello and make a decision today to forgive. So like that you can be set free. Peace out.